All right, so now moving forward, as promised, let's now talk about this line, this particular line. So we know everything that's written over here. We've got some comments, then we've got our Pragma Solidity compiler version. And let's now look what this import statement does. And then we're going to talk briefly about this as well. We've covered constructors in detail, but we'll talk about this. Now, you must be wondering, where are all those functions that Fahad is talking about that we actually coded in our ERC20 smart contract when we were writing it in Solidity. So for that, let's just go to our best friend Google and let's see what this ERC20.sol file essentially has. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to type OpenZeppelin ERC20 contract and I'll hit enter. The moment I do that, I'm going to see a GitHub reference of this file. So when I click on this, so earlier we went on the docs, so I'll just go back. So earlier, the previous link that I was showing you was of the docs, which was essentially the link over here, which had a lot of details. Feel free to read them. The next one that I'm opening is OpenZeppelin ERC20 contract, and the one I'm looking for is this one which is on GitHub. So I'm going to click on this. And what you see over here is pretty much what we coded. And I would say a better version of it, a very, very much better version of it. So you can compare each and every line of code. Feel free to do that. But by now you should be pretty much able to read many lines of code in this smart contract from OpenZeppelin. So everything that we've covered in our basic training series, and be sure to watch them before coming over here, you should be very clear with every line of code that's written over here. So you can see that we've got a total supply function. This is the same function that we coded when we were writing our ERC20 contract ourselves. You can see we've got a total supply variable over here, and then we initialize total supply with about 1,000 tokens. So coming back over here, we've got our total supply function, we've got our balance of function. You should be able to recall this when we were writing the smart contract. We've got a transfer function. We've also got our allowance function, and inside that we have an allowances mapping and recall owner and spender. We talked about this in great detail. We also have our approve function, and you can see some very good comments also that that are mentioned across each function. We've also got our transfer from function. We've got another transfer function which has an underscore behind it. We have an update function. So these are some new things that you can see other than what we have already coded. We also have our emit functions, which tells us about what's happening inside these smart contracts on the blockchain so that our front-end dApps can essentially consume all that information. We also have another function over here which is called the mint function, and we also have another additional function which is called the burn function. So apart from the ones that we've done so far, you can see there are some very good new functions also that this Solidity file gives us, including this one, which is the spend allowance function. So you can see that this is a very well written, a very well structured ERC20 contract. And like I said, that this is battle tested. It's pretty much of production use. And you don't want to put anything that's not audited, not battle tested, not of production use into production and then end up losing your funds or have a bad reputation in your ecosystem. So highly recommend that you use the standard ERC20 contract from OpenZeppelin and then modify it to your needs and requirements. Change your token code, change your token name, change your total supply, and then use that accordingly as you need it.